Hey guys, Dark Demon here, and I hope you enjoyed that little montage at the beginning that shows off what this build is capable of. This is a Terra version of the melee Amara, which utilizes cryo damage. It can not only crowd control mobs with cryo, but can reduce bosses to nothing but ice shards on the ground. Even raid bosses, so... I didn't even know you could freeze Wotan's better half until I did it, because, you know, but that is hilarious. This build is heavily inspired by JoltsDude139's Gladiator Amara build, which I will obviously link in the description. If you somehow haven't checked him out, go do so. He is awesome, has done so much for the Borderlands community and deserves all the love and subscribers in the world. Please go check him out. Anyway, let's get right to explaining this build. So, we have this Face Puncher. Now, the Face Puncher drops from Moldok the Anointed in Floodmoor's Basin. He's part of the main quest. That's when you go to Fort Sunshine, you ride the rail, you go there, you fight some ads, and then Moldok spawns that Anointed guy in. That's the Anointed guy you're going to be taking on to get this weapon. He now does respawn, so you can farm him pretty easily. I'll have a little trick to reach him quicker at the end of the video, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. But this is the weapon that will be applying terror to our character when we shoot it. The Face Puncher is a shotgun that shoots melee damage, so this pairs perfectly with the Anointment, which is melee attacks have a 25% chance to apply terror to yourself. So yeah, fire this thing off 3 times, you'll have full max terror immediately. It's that easy. So what is terror, you might be asking yourself? Well, terror is the ghostly aura that will appear around your screen when you are terrified. That can happen to you through getting hit by a ghost in the Bloody Harvest event, or through you applying it to yourself using the Anoints. What it does to you is it's quite a bad thing that causes your recoil and your weapon spread to be outright disgusting. Yeah, look, this will break your arm in real life. This is horrible. However, if you have the right Anoints and setup, you can not only nullify that horrible recoil and spread, you can buff yourself in fun and unique ways. This build works around that idea, so make sure you apply terror regularly to get the most out of the build. Okay, let's go over how we are getting buffed by terror. So this is the It's P grenade. It's got another name, but don't worry about what it is. Just don't worry. It drops from Sloth in Conrad's Hold, and he is found in the main story. It debuffs enemies to make them take more damage when they're hit by the grenade, and as a bonus it can wash off any bad elemental damage on you if you throw it at your feet. But this right here is where our Cryo Buffs come from. Now, reading that perhaps doesn't make you think much of it. While terrified, deal 50% increased cryo damage. But actually, it buffs everything. So your gun damage, your grenade damage, your action skill damage, and your melee damage. Thanks to the way the Face Puncher works, your Face Puncher will get a gun damage buff, a melee damage buff, and I believe an elemental damage buff too. So that is absolutely huge right there. Now the next piece is the second Face Puncher. Its Anoint reads, while terrified, you have a chance to fire an extra projectile per shot. The more terror you have, the higher the bonus. Now, that isn't exactly accurate, because after testing, it's not just one projectile, because that would suck. It shoots another shot. So yeah, you go from times 14 to times 28 if it procs. The chance of triggering it at max stacks of terror is about 30%, so that is a nice chunk of damage with a little bit of a chance for both mobbing and bossing. I personally got a lot out of this. So there is also a hidden feature to this. You know how there was that massive recoil? Like that? And it sucks and it hurts? For some reason, this one doesn't get the recoil. The one with the extra shots. So this one won't break your arm, which is absolutely lovely. Now for my shield, I have 2. This shield is a Cryo Stinger. It could be any element, and it drops from... I'm so sorry, it's Anathema the Relentless in Guardian Takedown. It has the action skill start trigger effects on shield break or fill Anoint, and the reason this is so strong is because whenever I use my action skill, I trigger the shield's hidden effect. This shield will shoot a fairly big Cryo Nova out of it that is based off melee damage, and so the Nova does insane damage on anything it hits. I can vouch this will one-hit almost anything that isn't a boss, and if it is a boss, it will take a huge chunk of their health off when it's used. Also, thanks to a skill in our skill tree, we can use it twice in one cooldown, so wow. The second shield is so much easier to get. This one drops from Aurelia in the main story, and it's the Frozen Heart. It has a really fun and cool effect where it guarantees freezes enemies when your shield goes down, but thanks to that Anoint from earlier, we can trigger that at will, twice, so long as we have our action skill. I really like this one. It's a lot of fun. It freezes everything around you and then you can just one-shot them. Very satisfying indeed. Now for this weapon we have any COV melee pistol with 120% melee damage. It doesn't matter which one. I would recommend farming Borman Nates at the Meridian outskirts for this one. The Anoint is 300% damage when an enemy is above 90% health, and is really strong when there's a group of adds and there is an add of over 90% health. Yes, it now counts as if they have 3 bars. It's 90% of all 3 bars, but it's still good. You melee the add and it will just do tons of damage. It's brilliant. Now here is the class mod from the new Creek DLC, and it is awesome. It drops from Evil Lilith, and whenever an Amara damages an enemy with a melee attack, she projects melee damage outwards of her attuned element, so the element, you know, the fire, the shock, the corrosive, towards another nearby enemy. What this means is if you can do melee damage with the stabber or your face puncher, it can build up the Guardian rank perk Groundbreaker, which is, where is it? This one. Groundbreaker, which can cause insane damage. Sometimes if it chains right, it's millions and insta-kill adds. So yeah, this thing is insane. On top of that, it can roll +3 into Illuminated Fist, which is a 1-point ability, giving us about 300% melee damage. So, you know, holy crap. Okay, apart from the Relic, we've gone through most of my gear. So we're going to go through all the backpack guns. The first one is, where is it? There it is, the Execute. This drops from General Tron in Necrotafeo, and was also a boss from the story. With this weapon, you can empty the magazine and throw the empty gun at an enemy, and that debuffs the enemy by 50% for 15 seconds. This stacks. That means you can throw like 5 of these at something and then start damaging, and it will do so much damage it will probably delete not just them in the game, but their game files. It's that broken. Honestly, you don't need this much damage, but it's there if you want to mess around with ridiculous damage, so that's fun to use. Okay, we're going to go through some of our speedy stuff now. We have a driver class mod. If you pair this and a skill we have called Mindfulness and a Fire Phase Grasp action skill, you can run like the Flash whenever you want. It's great for getting around, and if you want to be even more flashier, you can pair that with this, the EMP5. This drops from Agonizer 9000 in the Guts of Carnivora, which is part of the main story. And this will increase your movement speed by, I want to say about 15 to 20%, but I don't have an exact number, but it's free movement speed, so yay. Okay, we also have a Ruby's Wrath at a lower level. Make sure it's low level. This is a rocket jumping tool, and I love it. Like, rocket jumping isn't great in this game, but it's fun to do. It can be quite fun, so I've paired it in here, and you can get to certain spots, like Atlas Headquarters. You can get up there a bit quicker. I also paired it with the extra projectiles Terror Anoint for double the explosions, so you'll go even higher. But be careful, even though it's low level, it still has self-damage, so don't absolutely destroy yourself with it. Okay, just be careful. A Brawl Award. This drops from Graveward in vanilla main story. And this is just a solid shield all around. It has some nice melee damage buffs, so you can give that a try too. Another Frozen Heart. This one has a different Anoint, which is while Phase Grasp is active, Amara constantly triggers Novas that deal who cares damage. The reason we don't care is because those Novas will insta-freeze everybody because of how the Frozen Heart works. Kind of funny, it freezes everything. Give it a try, it's hilarious. Onto the Relics. The first one we have is the Static Charge. This one drops from Artemis the Jabber in the side quest Irregular Customers on Eden 6. This is awesome with the Face Puncher, especially when you do melee. it chains electricity to everyone around the enemy you hit. So it's chain lightning. This is really good for doing some nice extra damage to groups of adds, and can even help chain crazy damage with the Muse comp. Not sure how that works, but it does, trust me. Also, you can slide to build up a little bit of extra melee damage for one shot. If you don't really need to do it, but it's there for that extra oomph if you want it. Also, going forward, that knife drain effect does what you think it does. It heals you on melees, so your face puncher will heal you, and you'll basically never lose health so long as you keep shooting / punching things. Great for survivability. Now this is our bossing relic. It's called the White Elephant. This is quite strong for bossing and sticks random element bombs to enemies on a melee. This also crits if you land the bombs on a crit spot, which is crazy strong, but what we have here on our effect is something more. We have Cryo Stone. This imbues 80% cryo damage into our melee, which is a ridiculous amount of damage because we have buffed into cryo using our terror anoints, and this is what will tear apart any boss. I love it, it's crazy, it melts everything, trust me. Okay, we also have some cut purse relics for both Stag Charge and White Elephant. Same perks, but these are useful for getting back all your ammo if you ever run out, so just shoot one shot and most of your ammo will be back with you, and if you keep shooting, all of it. Nice tool to use. You might run out of ammo. You don't get much ammo in your shotgun doing this, so these are here just as an emergency. They're very useful, trust me. There's also a knife drain White Elephant. This is good for bossing too, and more of a survivability option over raw damage. Might come in handy. Okay, that goes over the gear used in this build. We can go over some notable skills in our skill tree now. This is the skill tree right here. So there's the red tree, there's the green tree, and here's the blue tree. If you want to just copy that, you can, but I'll explain some notable skills and their uses. Most of this is focused purely on damage with a bit of health regeneration, and as much melee damage as we can get our hands on, but that's the gist of the build. We'll go through some of the more important ones now. The first thing to note is this. This is how the melee elementals work. Each tree, well, two of them actually, have one of these fist symbols, and they attune to the element in question. So this one's corrosive, this one's incendiary, and this tree doesn't have a shock one, but to get the shock one, you just remove the element, and now it's shock. So we have Find Your Center. This one is a flat out 100% melee damage buff, but if you use your action skill, you get another 75% melee damage. So consider that our action skill, Reverberation, has a 30-second cooldown. 20 of those 30 seconds of an extra 75%. That's a good bit of uptime. Not only that, after 10 seconds, if you were to use it again, like use your action skill again thanks to Avatar, you just get another 20 seconds, so it just goes over time and you can always have the buff. It's awesome. We have Guardian Angel. That's 1 point, and it's a free instant second wind. And I know it says there 50% of max health. Because of our Guardian rank ability, Resilient, it's full health and shields. It doesn't matter. But it also creates an action skill Elemental Nova that may knock back nearby enemies. So that's a bonus. I know it has a 120-second cooldown, but it's still nice to have. That's only 2 minutes. You'll be fine. We have Bullets. This allows you to lunge towards an enemy and deal an extra 100% melee damage. This is awesome for some quick damage, and if you can get the kill with it, you will also get your blitz refunded, which is just awesome. It's a great ability. We have Remnant. This releases a homing projectile when you kill something with your action skill or your melee, and that ball gets overkill damage based on the damage you just did. So if you do massive damage with your melee or your guns or your action skill and it kills an ad, that damage will chain onto another enemy. This skill is awesome. You're probably wondering, why 1 point? Well, we don't actually need the increased remnant damage from the other 4 points. We only want that overkill damage, so that's why. The remnant damage doesn't really matter. Avatar. I think we've already touched on this, but it basically lets you use your action skill twice in one cooldown, which, if you pair that with the Stinger Shield from earlier, That's a ton of extra damage. It melts bosses. It's awesome. Use this ability always. It also can increase our stacks of rush, which is nice. Like the max rush stacks, I mean. And if the action skill kills something, it refunds half the rush stacks. Rush stacks are nice for just more action skill damage, I believe. And the last notable skill is Jab Cross. This lets us get more damage after doing melee. So yeah, nice. Look at that. More action skill damage and gun damage. Gun damage gets buffed into the face puncher, so that's just a buff in general. But yeah, the rest of the skill tree mainly just goes over damage and health regeneration and quicker movement speed like mindfulness. So don't worry about the rest of the tree. The rest of the tree is what it is. Brush stacks will get you more action skill damage. And yeah, just a bunch of damage really. Okay, let's go over the Mayhem Modifiers I use. First of all, we have Slayer. This one's just a bunch of free shields and health. Really enjoy it. So long as you melee things, which we will, we'll get those shield and health boosters. Second one is Healy Avenger. Enemies have a chance to release a power-up that will heal the first enemy it touches, or drop health and shield boosters if destroyed. Not only does that not heal the enemies as much as you'd think, I can get more health and shield boosters. It's a benefit to me. I'm happy with that. Okay, next up we have Laser Flare. Enemies have a small chance to drop a spinner trap when damaged. Spinners project a rotating elemental laser beam. This is not that intrusive. They will drop these laser beams all over the place, but unless it's a shock or a cryo one, because cryo slows you down, shock can hurt you, like hurt your shield quite badly. It's not even that intrusive. You can just, if it's a cryo one or a shock one, just kill it. It's not that bad. And you can second wind off them. That's a benefit in my opinion, and that's why I use Laser Flare. And last but not least, Postmortem. Killing an enemy has a chance to release death, which follows after you. If death touches you, you instantly enter fight for your life. All of the very hard ones are annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, just this one was the least intrusive to be honest. So I went with this one. The deaths are easily killable. Sometimes they just naturally die when you are attacking mobs. Sometimes they'll down you. It can be annoying, but it's the least intrusive one in my opinion. If it really is that annoying, you can switch it with body system, but I don't know. I prefer this one. It's your choice though. But yeah, that's the build. That's everything it offers, and I will leave a save in the description. If it's not up yet, you're here too early, I apologize. But I'll get the save working. I'll get that going for you. You cannot get the save on console. I apologize for that. That breaks terms of service. But if you're on PC, enjoy. Just have some fun with this build. It's good fun. I like it. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I appreciate you being here to the very end. Enjoy the save. Have some fun. And I hope you have a happy Halloween. I also stream live on Twitch. So if you ever get bored, check me out. I'm in the description. I recently did a 1 HP flak run. That means deathless and a rough rider, and it was rough. Hilarious, but rough. More stuff like that will be happening soon, I hope. I'll be hopefully getting back on schedule. I took a little break because I was a little burnt out streaming. But yeah, thanks for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you later. See ya! So in order to break into the fort without having to go all the way around, you go into photo mode, fly above this door, come back down, face your camera towards this lever, and the second you exit photo mode, spam the E button. Ready? Got it. And doors open. You don't have to run all the way around. You can just go straight to Moldog, who is here.